Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com. We're going to talk about this great podcast that I listen to. And you guys know that if I listen to an incredible podcast where I'm just like, hallelujah, preach, you are saying things that I haven't heard before, and in a way I haven't heard it before, and you're totally right. And then a lot of times I'll verify what they're saying in terms of the white papers. And then if I'm blown away, I will make a YouTube video about the podcast episode I actually want you to watch because I don't think I can say it as well as they did. So here's another one, and I think I've actually done a review on Dr. Stacy Whitman before. I think it was on the Doc podcast. So you can actually look through my podcast reviews to see. So if I mentioned a doctor twice on a different podcast, you know this doctor's pretty cool. And I have reached out to Dr. Stacy, no response yet from her, asking to collab. But Dr. Stacy, if you're listening, I did try. But I only will try once, so now you got to pursue me. So let's go into this a little bit more. And it's funny because I was prepping for this podcast, and now prepping, I'm a lot of times when I'm making these YouTube videos, sometimes to prep to make sure I get my white papers right and stuff, I'll ask, AI to listen to what I have to say and correct things if I'm wrong. So AI told me I was very brave to make this podcast, and then they explained I could get sued for making this, which I kind of already knew. But last I checked, I'm not too afraid of being sued. So, been sued many times before. Not my favorite thing, and it does cost me money, but I do know if I'm going to be out here telling the truth, occasionally somebody's not going to like the truth that I tell, and they're going to try to get the truth to get shut down. Okay, so I'll tell you what chat said. It's incredibly brave of you to even make this podcast. Yeah, I know, because people have lost their licenses for saying what is the truth. You were taught to look at the mouth as an isolated dark hole, treating cavities like simple mechanical failures requiring drilling and filling fluoride fix. Um, in this podcast, they expose the fact that the mouth is an integrated gateway into systemic health. When dentists blindly follow the standard American Dental Association narrative without checking the white papers to make sure the research was interpreted correctly, e.g., they just said that. Are you relying on people at a association to interpret the research, or are you learning to use your mind that was trained to read the research yourself? Without if checking involving white papers, they miss the root cause of systemic issues. So oopsies. Yeah, and to be honest, people know about this, and the reason why they don't want us to bring it up is because people know. Lay people are educated too, and they're realizing that their dentists are selling them a load of crap sometimes. And they're catching the dentists, and they're recording you guys and filming you guys. So you guys better know this research backwards and forwards. And I'm sure I'm going to be just, eviscerated for even putting this up there, but I'm not even making an opinion. I'm just pointing out that this was a good podcast. That's all I'm saying. So basically, we all know that there is a loose connection between ADHD, the oral cavity size. Okay, we know this. There is research out there that says it. Is it definitive, double blinded, longitudinal? No, it's not that kind of research. Okay, but that takes time and money to make. It will come in time, and it's a hard thing because once we know, we know. And I'm probably not using all the right verbiage, but who would want their kid to be in the study where they were getting the short end of the stick here? I wouldn't let my kid be in that study because I already know. So, okay, so the whole fluoride conspiracy. And granted, I am a mom whose kids live in an unfluoridized state, and my kids have no cavities. Surprise! And yes, I was initially freaking out because Hawaii is a non-fluoridated state. There's no fluoride in our water unless you are on a military reservation or military facility. They have fluoride in their water. So there's been a lot of studies done here, and then dentists who are here, we have incredible amount of dentists. Dentists kind of realize that this really doesn't make that much of a difference because we're doing our own little mini studies, right? Listen, yes, my kids had pretty good hygiene. Did they have the best diet? Nope. But I did my best. But I did my best as a parent to make sure they had good hygiene and that they were flossing even when they were babies. My kids always floss. Flossing was not optional. Flossing was up there with going to sleep. It's a requirement. Everyone flosses, no drama. So, yeah, I mean, it just comes down to that, yes, there's research. And granted, I was trained by the Dr. Featherstone himself. And if you guys are in dentistry, you guys know who the Dr. Featherstone is. He was also my neighbor, lived across the street from my dad for many years. So I know that guy. We've had him over for dinner. Good guy. Yes, legit, fluoride does help prevent cavities. That's not wrong. But I think it's more of a topical effect than a systemic effect. So do I think it needs to be in water? I don't think so. And I also think the studies that show the toxicity, it's just so borderline, and I just feel like it's so unregulated, and there's so many ways we can get concentrated fluoride from so many other foods that people are eating, especially now with matcha and other stuff. Kids are getting plenty of fluoride, and topical fluoride is still okay if you believe in that. Like, I still use topical fluoride on myself, and I encourage my kids to use it. So, when we go to the dentist, I don't have an issue with that. Yeah, none of us have any cavities. So I lied. I'm the only one that has one. And that was indeed my fault because I was in high school. I did not floss. Well, no, my mom wouldn't buy me floss. That's what it was. And at that time, I didn't realize how important it was. My mom wouldn't buy it. She said it was too expensive. And so I didn't floss. And I had braces and power chain. And of course, you know what's going to happen. You're going to get an interproximal cavity. So I have one interproximal cavity. But that's it. So knock on wood, I am in my 50s and my kids have none. And my husband has none. He's older than me. So, and his diet is horrific in terms of keratogenics. So, no, I think it's a lot more mouth breathing related. That's my personal opinion. But I think more research needs to be done. And I don't necessarily think I think more research is needed. That's all I'm saying. So I just want to share that with you and encourage you to be cautious in what you say to patients, but also let the patients know that research is evolving and that as you start to read the research, you'll be more open-minded. And the reason why I'm putting this out here is really just because I don't want the dentist to be in the same situation the OBGYNs are in right now. And the OBGYNs are in a field of hurt because they had the same thing happen where they didn't read their own white papers and they just took the party line on hormone replacement, and now they're all very mistrusted, including honestly, my own OBGYN have had a complete come to Jesus conversation where doctor to doctor, I just said, look, I don't trust you. For 10 years, I kept saying, look, what about this white paper? What about this white paper? And you just shut me down every single time. And then I had to go to European doctors to have them prescribe and explain things to me. And then I come back to you and I have to explain your own white papers to you. And now you're going to prescribe to me because I actually educated you on your own profession. And she knew I was right. She even told me I was right. So I got my hormones, but I had to educate my OBGYN on how to read a white paper. And trust me, like, the vibe is not the same. We've known each other for 20, 30 years. Our kids are the same age. We are in activities together. It is a big town, but a small town for educated people. And I had to burn a bridge in order to get me and advocate for people I knew in our OBGYN practice. And I was that girl, that Gen Xer that did it. And she rewarded me. So anyways, it's all good here, but I don't want you guys to be hurting like her. Okay. So you guys got to fess up, read the white paper yourself, and come down to your own conclusion. I mean, obviously, I don't think you should go completely against the party line, but I think you should be open-minded on the needs of your patients and hear them out. All right, thanks.